Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing how I budget for the year. Now if you're already somebody that budgets, you can still watch this video and maybe you'll learn something and maybe you can teach me something. I'm always looking for ways to improve my budget. But if you're somebody that doesn't budget, then this is the right place for you. Welcome. I'm going to take you through everything. But first, you might be thinking, why should I budget? Here's why budgeting is important. I think the first most important reason for budgeting is financial freedom. A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. Or, I don't know, people don't say paycheck anymore, but anyway, I still say it. A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, and this is not really being financially free. And I don't think this is a smart way to live, because anything can happen at any time. So it's a lot of people don't have anything in savings, and this really isn't, like, it's not good at all. So budgeting is like, it helps you get from living paycheck to paycheck. I think everybody should be at least 1 month ahead of their paycheck. The second reason will be saving goals. So if you are interested in buying a house, a car, going on a trip, getting married, that sort of thing you need money for, budgeting will allow you to save faster towards those goals and achieve those goals quicker. And lastly, healthy living. For example, you might not realize how much you're spending on snacks, but until you budget, or you might not realize how much time you spend on extracurricular activities, which might not be good for you, rather than developing yourself. So budgeting kind of lets you know where your money is going to, and then you can realize what your priorities are, and you can change those priorities if you do not like them. So now that you're on board with budgeting, let's get to it. Now I know some of you might be thinking, I do not even have enough money to budget. I don't receive enough income, so how would I even budget? How would I save anything out of that? And this is where budgeting comes into place. It allows you to take into account the income you do receive and look at the expenses you have, and then you can begin to look at what is necessary and what is unnecessary, and that will help you achieve know how much you can actually save in a month. So here are some of the important things that you should know before I actually go into the budgeting. Number one, I have a separate savings account, so I don't keep my savings in my normal account. I move it out so that I'm not tempted to spend it. And if you're someone that you see money and you're tempted to spend it, then I advise you to get a separate savings account to put your savings in, and you don't touch it except for the goals that you saved towards. Number two, I use at a minimum the 50-30-20 rule. Now, what is the 50-30-20 rule? This basically is just saying that you spend 50% of your income on things that you absolutely need, that are absolutely necessary, like your rent, your mortgage, your bills, food, things that you absolutely need. Then you spend 30% of your income on things that you want. So this can be cinema, going out to the cinema. This can be your Netflix, your Spotify, your clothing, things that you want. And then 20% of your income goes automatically into your savings. Now, personally, I prefer to use the 50-20-30 rule. So 30% of my income is going towards my savings, rather than 20% towards my wants. I just switch that around. You can do whatever is comfortable for you, but the important part is making sure there's a minimum amount going to your savings every month. Now, this will look different for different people based on the level of your income. If you're earning really low, you might not necessarily be able to save 20% right now, and that's okay. And if you're earning really high, then you should definitely be saving way more than 20% of your income. So you have to look at it, and I'll show you how I do it for myself. Thirdly, I not only do I budget, but I measure the actual amount I spend each month. So there's no use budgeting if you're not actually measuring what you spend each month. So I can say I want to spend £100 on food each month, but if I don't come back at the end of the month to check if I met that goal, there will be no use to doing the budget in the first place. So I have two spreadsheets, one to measure one for the budget and one to measure how much I actually spend each month. And the fourth thing to note is that this is not actually set in stone. Your budget is not set in stone. So I can make a budget for January to December right now, but in March I realized that, oh, something is changing, or my income increases or reduces, and I'll alter my budget to fit that. So it's not something that is set in stone. Your budget is not something that should make you feel bad. It should be something that you should aim to meet, and if you don't meet it in a month, then it should motivate you to try harder in the next month to meet it. And lastly, like I said earlier, I think everybody should be at least a month ahead of your paycheck. But even more importantly, what I mean by that is that everybody should have an emergency fund, which ideally financial advisors say should be 3 to 6 months of your expenses. So however how much you spend in a month, have 3 to 6 months of that in your savings account. And this is just to foresee any emergency that might come up that you might not know about. So yeah, I'll just take you through it now. Okay, so I've done for January. The first thing I like to do is put in my salary and any extra income that you might be earning. So depending on the amount of, like, if you're working 2 different jobs or 3 different jobs, you're going to put each one of them in this place, and then you're going to total it. The 50-30-20 rule works on post-tax income, but I like to do mine on post-tithe income, because tithe, it's not, I don't even count it as my income. It just goes out of my account immediately. So I do the 50-30-20 rule on that. But then again, I use 50-20-30, just so you know. Calculating that, total income is £2,000, then income post-tithe will be £1,800, and just for some values, 50% of that is £900, 20% of that is £360, and 30% of that is £540. So that's the values I'll be working with. So this, you put in the this is the 50% here now, the expenses that you absolutely need, what are necessities to you. So for example, for different people, necessities may vary, and I will explain as I go along. So you have your rent, your mortgage, you have your utility bills, your groceries, your toiletries, your phone bill. I put my offering or giving under my necessities. Insurance, if you have any credit cards or loan repayments, the minimum repayments, you have to make them every month. So that's also under necessities. And as you can see, my total comes to £840. And I have £900 allocated. Now this £60, normally I'll just send it straight to my savings, and I'll just add it straight to my savings. But let's take a look at expenses, the wants. So wants are generally things like your takeout, your dining out, your Spotify, your Netflix, your cinema, your clothes, shoes, air. So this is what I'm talking about in this situation. Transport for me is not a necessity. I don't need transportation. I don't need to enter any bus or car or anything like that to go to work or to go to church, which are the 2 important places I go to. So I don't need transport of any kind for that. So it's not a necessity, it's just a want. And that's basically if I want to go to church and I don't want to walk, which I can actually, but I don't want to, and I decide to take an Uber, then that's where transport comes in. So if you need transport to get to your workplace, then for you this would be a necessity, but it isn't for me. So that's the difference in that. So it differs for everybody. And then I have a section for miscellaneous, any miscellaneous costs that might come up during the month, or anything I might not have thought of or accounted for. And then I have others. Basically, if there's anything that is random, like one-off payments, I just put it under here. And my total comes to £240. I have £360 allocated for this, so you can see I have a difference of about £120. And once again, I'll send that straight to my savings. But as you can see, my savings, the minimum is £540. So that's what it is. And I have £60 from here, £120 from here. That's £180, which is what is my running total. So the running total is basically how much is left in your spending account. So you can choose to either decide to leave this money, whatever is left over at the end of the month, in your spending account, or you can just push it straight to your savings and send everything to your savings. I like to leave a little bit of money in my spending account, just in case I don't want to have to take anything out of my savings account. So I'm just going to add £160 directly to my savings. making this 700, and as you can see, I have £20 left in my spending account, so I just leave this in my current account. Maybe at the end of like 6 months, if it's like £100, I can move it to my savings or something like that. So I can generally just copy the same values and put it in February and March like that. But also about it not being set in stone, I don't buy clothes every month. For example, I buy clothes once in 2 months or once in 3 months, so I'm only going to put it on my budget for January. It won't be on my budget for March, so I'm going to take that out. And then I pay for one-off payment for my Amazon Prime, which is in February, so I can add that there as a one-off payment there. And as you can see, it puts my running total in a negative, so I'm just going to reduce my savings to account for that. And so you do this like this for every month. If there's a month where your income changes and you need to account for that, you also change that in a month. You change that for that month. If there's a month where you have more cost or you have less cost, then you move all of that around. You move your savings around. The important part is trying to account for everything you might spend in a month, and then I just move whatever is left to my savings, making sure I have the minimum of 540 there every single month. This way I can achieve my saving goals. Now, for some people, it might be helpful to write out your saving goals. So I add this where I have my short-term goals, my medium-term goals, and my long-term goals. I'm not really going to go much into savings right now, but if you want me to do a video on how I come up with my saving goals and how I save quickly, then let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, knowing what you're saving for can actually motivate you more to help you save. Also, if you're not sure when a cost is meant to come into play, if you know, for example, that you're going to be doing something this year, but you're not sure which month you're actually going to do it, or which month you need to pay for that, then I put it under my short-term saving goals. So I send the money to my savings, and then I take it out of my savings whenever it comes due. For example, I saved to get a new camera that I'm currently recording on, which was expensive, so like and subscribe. But anyway, yeah, I just put it under my short-term goals because I wasn't sure when I was actually going to get it. It depended on when I got the money to get it. So that's a tip for you to use to account for all those payments that might not be regular or you're not sure of. In summary, this is not meant to be a pain. This is meant to be something that helps you if for some reason you spend more than you budgeted in a month. Oh, by the way, let me show you my cash flow, which is what I actually spend. So I go ahead and just copy the same thing from my budget into the cash flow spreadsheet, and then I go ahead and input the actual value. So when my salary for January comes, I input it. I know some people have irregular salaries, so you might need this. I input it. If any extra income comes in, I input it. I take out my tithe, and then I just go ahead and list every single payment or every single thing I bought during the month, and then I allocate it. I can just list it like off to the side of the spreadsheet, list every single thing, list their prices, and then I categorize it based on these categories for the needs and the wants. I like to do this. I pretty much have it down to a science now because I've been doing this for years, so I can pretty much go throughout the month without overspending. But I like to do this midway through the month. So I go through everything I've spent from like January 1st to January 15th. I go through everything, I allocate it into the respective columns, and then I compare it to my budget. So I know for the remainder of the month if I have to limit myself because I've spent way too much already, or if I have more to spend. So I know exactly what is going on. That will help me not to overshoot my budget. Now, if you're also someone that you're not earning enough to save 20%, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure that you're taking out all unnecessary costs and you're putting everything else into your savings, and little bit by little bit, as your income increases, that percentage that goes into your savings increase. I think the mistake a lot of people make is when they receive a bonus or when they receive an increase in their salary, their savings stay the same. They don't put any of it into their savings, they just spend it. and that is not necessarily a good thing. So if your income increases, make sure you allocate that also into the percentage of your savings. So basically that is how I budget for the year. I just basically do this from January to December, and this helps me to put my saving goals in place. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've learned anything, or if you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you want a copy of this spreadsheet, like this template, just drop me a comment below. Also, I'll send it directly to you. And pretty much that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.